Friendship.
Years and years of pain.
So it's a really pleasure to welcome him. He spent part of his childhood in rural Wisconsin, and if you have any doubts about his rural background, I don't know whether he has it on his phone now, but ask him to show you the picture of him turkey hunting with his family, because it brings me such joy to even remember that picture at any moment. So yeah, have him show it to you. He moved back to Chicago suburbs during high school. He became a first-generation college graduate after attending the University of Illinois in Champaign, Urbana.
Let's go!
He received a Bachelor of Arts in Economics. And then since 2007, he has worked in commercial banking. Currently, he partners with Chicago-based companies. Did you write this? He partners with Chicago-based companies to help them meet their business objectives by providing financial solutions as a relationship manager in corporate banking group at Associated Bank. And as he likes to put it, much more simply, I think, and more elegantly, he sells money. So he lives here in Chicago. He enjoys exploring the city with friends. I think that's often with his booth friends, drinking craft beer, and long walks on the beach. While at Booth, I think he was one of the busiest and most involved students that I've ever seen, and probably you have ever seen. He helped co-found the Booth Sales Club. He served as the launch venture coordinator. He was an NBA Cup captain, and he was also the co-president of the Student Advisory Council. So please join me in welcoming Ryan to the podium.
Yeah, there he is. So pretty.
Thank you, Glenn, for that kind introduction. Good evening, everyone.
You won't?
I'm absolutely thrilled to have the opportunity to reflect on our time together at Booth as we celebrate its culmination. But as excited as I was when I found out I would have the opportunity, I was also really nervous. So I fell back on the rigorous academic training we all received over the last few years, and I Googled how to give a good speech. Now, this yielded a ridiculous number of results, so I took advantage of confirmation bias and just chose one that I liked. It suggested opening the speech with humor to engage your audience. Unfortunately, I'm not funny enough to write my own jokes. So, I thought of something even better. Cat memes. What's funnier than anthropomorphized pictures of cats? Like this guy, he wants a cheeseburger, which is hilarious because cats don't normally eat cheeseburgers. And the sentence structure is bad because cats aren't very good at grammar. It's great. This guy, I'm sorry, this is really unprofessional, but my phone is buzzing like crazy, and let me turn it off real quick. Okay. Actually, I've just been informed by Holly that cat memes are not appropriate for such a classy occasion. So this is embarrassing. That's all right. Okay, no problem. We'll just cat Since cat memes were deemed inappropriate, let's move on to some data. I know that's a safe subject at any booth event. During our time in this program, each of us completed at least 20 classes. If you average the number of weeks across the 4 quarters, each class had 10.75 3-hour sessions. That's 32.25 in-class hours times 20 classes for a total of 645 class hours. Now, as you may recall, a few of those classes required some additional time outside. Based on data from a statistically significant random sampling, let's estimate that the average number of hours per class for homework was 4.5. So that's 4.5 hours per class times 10.75 class sessions times 20 classes, which gives you an additional 967.5 hours of studying and homework for a grand total of 1,612 hours and 30 minutes. Any way you slice it, that's a lot of hours. And as Starr pointed out, far more eloquently than I could, we all did it while juggling active careers and balancing relationships with family and friends. It's quite a feat. Now that we've gone through the data, I feel obligated to show at least one graph to summarize it. I'm sure you will all be familiar with this from some of the more demanding courses in the program. This is the duck-rabbit graph.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
What this graph represents is that moment in the midst of those many, many hours of work when the marginal benefit of one additional hour of studying falls below zero and into negative territory. Whether it was at the end of a marathon study session for a first macro exam, or in the wee hours of the morning trying to finish that big data file, it's when you realize you're reading the same sentence for the fourth time, or the cells in your spreadsheet begin to blur together. We all experienced it. We all worked exceptionally hard. Fortunately, we never had to do it alone. We had this incredible group of people around us. Our classmates challenged us to think differently when debating a case in class. Our classmates supported us when endlessly polishing that presentation. And no matter how brutal that final exam was, we all had that one special person who always knew how to cheer us up. But as Jack Nicholson taught us in that creepy hotel movie, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we made time to have fun. And I mean a lot of fun. We supported local sports teams by rooting on the Hawks and the Bulls, and we even cheered on the Chicago Cubs with a fellow Booth alumnus who seemed to know an awful lot about the team. We took to the open waters of Lake Michigan on a boat for the Air and Water Show, and then later had dinner on an even bigger boat. We gathered together in huge numbers at Winter Formal to show that we all clean up pretty well. And our dance moves are just as flashy as our discounted cash flows. We took part in Chicago's iconic celebration of St. Patrick's Day. Wait, that's the wrong photo. That's fine. All right, maybe that's not a good example given the timing right before finals. But we did embark on adventures together. We bonded over fine dining and also over less fine dining. I can say without a doubt that every graduate in this room is an undefeated NBA Cup champion. And in the process, we raised tens of thousands of dollars to support local grade schools. We also donated hundreds of hours of time to help those in need. That's just a small sample of all the fun we had and all the work we did to get to this point. Between all of our time, both in the classroom and out, we've been through a lot together in a relatively short amount of time. During those 1,600 plus hours, we did more than earn our MBA. We created an invaluable professional network, and we forged friendships that will last a lifetime. We built our own community. It's full of remarkable people who not only enjoy spending time with, but who challenge us to be the best version of ourselves. The way we interact within our community is about to change, though. As we graduate and become Booth alumni, we will no longer be in class together twice a week or bunkered in a study room to work on a project. We won't have easy opportunities to connect during midweek at the Midway or SQA. Some of us are beginning new careers in new cities or even new countries. Others will continue to have a disproportionate impact in their current careers and will soon be challenged with new responsibilities. Regardless of the situation, we will all find that our new free time is quickly filled with other obligations. So in order to continue to cultivate the community that we've all built over the last 20 classes, it's going to require a conscious effort. Staying connected will mean something different for each of us. It could mean committing to get together with a small group of friends on a regular basis. It could mean setting up a monthly call to touch base with the one or two people you're closest to. It could mean joining your local alumni club. It could be as simple as organizing a group to attend the next Alumni Fusion event. Obviously, there are a lot of possibilities, so it's just a matter of finding the right one for you, which brings me to the audience participation portion of the evening.
Yeah!
Those of you who took some of our managerial and organizational behavior classes may recall that making a commitment publicly in front of those people whose opinion matter to you will make you more likely to keep that commitment. So like Tracy, I would also like to ask all of the graduates to make a commitment to finding at least one specific action you could undertake in the next 6 months to help keep our Booth community thriving. Now, I'm not going to ask others to do something I wouldn't do myself, so I will commit to all of you to attend this summer's Fusion event and be at our first class reunion next May. Now, it's your turn. Look around your table at your friends and fellow classmates and think about some of the actions you could take to stay connected to the community. No, actually, like look around at your friends. Okay. Now, as a sign of commitment to specifically setting aside the necessary time and to take one action, will everyone willing to make that commitment please raise your hand? Thank you. That's great. All right, this whole public commitment thing works because we don't want to let our friends down. So quickly make a mental note of your peers at the table who raise their hand. Find time to ask them what they're committing to do, and relentlessly guilt them if they try to back. But honestly, thank you for indulging that. It's such an incredible group of people in this room that I sincerely hope we keep our community alive and well long after next weekend. To close my comments, I want to bring us back full circle to our first days at Booth. During launch, one of the presentations we heard challenged us to think about how we would define success for our time in the program. As we anticipate walking across the stage and becoming Booth graduates, we face the same challenge, but with much more complexity. How will we measure success in our careers, and even more broadly in our lives? This, of course, is another question that each of us will answer individually, but there are resources out there to help us. For example, Professor Epley's class has come up a few times. In Designing a Good Life, he points to a significant amount of research that concludes the single biggest indicator for happiness is not money or professional success, but the quality of our relationships. At the end of the day, it's all it comes down to creating happiness, or in Booth terms, utility, for ourselves and for all of those around us. As graduates of this program, we all have tremendous opportunity ahead of us, and we all have the tools to be successful. So let's be thoughtful and deliberate in the way we choose to define it. Chicago Booth Class of 2017, I wish you success by your definition, and I wish you happiness in all of your endeavors. Thank you.
On behalf of your classmates in the class of 2017, Ryan, thank you very much for, I think, one of the most memorable remarks I've seen. I didn't even know what a camera was. Thank you.
We love you, Ryan! Yeah, Corbin! There you go, buddy. Good work.